ethicalDeal, when did you start the company? When did this start?
We launched our first green deal November 8th, 2010. At 4 p.m.
I was going to say, you know this exactly. And we're going to get into, and we're going to talk about how you got to that point, but how much change have you seen? I mean, I alluded to it, what a competitive market this has become, that concept of the daily deal. How much change have you seen in this segment of business over the last 4 years that you've been in it?
It's moved so quickly. The first couple years, it was a wild ride. I mean, we grew really quickly, and so that was great. And then, there was some questions from the industry that came up around what is the value for businesses and for consumers, and so we had to deal with that shakeup. And
that was really a conversation too about, I think for you and the way you approached that it was a great opportunity for you to communicate to people what did really set you apart at ethicalDeal.
Yeah, I mean, there was a Vancouver Sun article that was published in 2013, and it was in the same week that Groupon's CEO was fired. And we
intentional timing, or
it was well timed. And in the same week, we won BC's Top Online Marketer Award, and that article was really about how we were doing things differently and why that led to our success.
So talk about what makes ethicalDeal different. What is the foundation of this concept in this company?
First, it's a mission-driven company. So when you have a mission beyond profit, that builds a community. So we attract people that are interested in making greener choices, and we deliver that. So they know what to expect from us. They're not going to get, Botox one day, go-karting another day, and a restaurant meal the next day. Every day, they're going to get something that speaks to their interest in living a greener, healthier lifestyle. How
much have you learned about that? I mean, because obviously there would be relationships. Every single time that you're trying to figure out a new way to give people access to these products that might be a better ethical deal for them, you must learn something about what's happening in the world and the businesses that are being created outside of your business.
For sure, yeah. I mean, I had no idea there was an eco-friendly hairspray. I thought that was one of the most toxic things on the planet, but there is, and there's a local company doing it. I had no idea either.
So
it's exciting because it's fun. You meet all these local entrepreneurs, or whether they're local or not, you meet all these entrepreneurs, and as someone that's passionate about green business, it's just exciting to work with other business owners that share those values. So I think it's a very nice community to be a part of.
Yeah, there's a huge element of marketing to this.
Yeah, so I would say I definitely stayed true to my marketing. I've always had marketing and communications interests, but I'm keeping it local. I've grown this business in Canada. Excited to go, across, outside of Canada in the future. But it's more about, earlier I didn't believe that doing good through business was possible, and now I know it is. So that's the primary difference.
But when you were young, volunteerism has been a really formative part of your life. When did you first start? I mean, you were a kid, basically.
Yeah. I grew up in a family that was very socially conscious, I guess is a good way of describing it. And so, I was at soup kitchens, I was doing environmental cleanups.
Willingly and happily when you were a kid, or were your parents dragging you out?
Yeah, I mean, I had some friends that were doing it as well, so it was okay.
I could tell you had days where you didn't necessarily.
No, it was part of my upbringing, and I learned a lot from it, and so that was part of who I was, and then as I graduated from high school, and I was 19, I started looking at, okay, how else can I volunteer? So I became a volunteer director on a volunteer board I should say, for the Youth Co. Aid Society here in Vancouver. And I immediately kind of gravitated towards the communications marketing position there, helping get the word out and helping raise money for the nonprofit. I was one of the youngest, by about 10 years, I think, at the time, members of the Leadership Vancouver program, which is a 6-month program which attracts people from the private and public sector.
Okay, so how do you enter that room? I mean, what do? Do you go up and you talk to people? Do you just break the ice, or what is it that takes that fear away?
Curiosity. I think I'm very curious in how people got to where they are and what drives them and what inspires them. At 15, I was doing informational interviews. I would be going through the newspaper and magazine, finding an interesting person, and then finding a way to contact them and try to take them out for coffee just to learn from them.
You're kidding.
No, and that's
my